Let's start a petition to rename the ACM Awards stage Reba's Place. I mean, she's hosted dang near 20 times. It's where she's celebrated, cut loose, and let them know who's boss.
Okay, Taylor Swift just looked at me like I announced that I flew with the Wright brothers.
With the boning, spanks, and push-up bra, there's more special effects going on here than in Avatar. I guess they finally figured out that it only takes one woman to do the job of two men.
It's also where the sun began to rise after her darkest hour.
This is for my 8 buddies.
I'm Anya Hammer, and the twists of fate that kept Reba and a second country music superstar from boarding a plane that crashed south of San Diego on March 16, 1991 are the kind of thing that you can only ask God about when you get to heaven. 10 people died on Otay Mountain that morning, including 7 of Reba's band members and her tour manager, Jim Hammon. The reason she stayed back, I'll get there, but first subscribe and offer a kind word to the families of those killed in the comment section below. Reba was already queen by 1991, having won 8 combined Female Vocalist of the Year trophies and a CMA for Entertainer of the Year. She was also a new mom to Shelby, born 1 year earlier. The San Diego show was a private show between tour dates, and the plan was to play the gig, then fly to Fort Wayne, Indiana aboard 2 Hawker airplanes provided to her as a sales demonstration. But somewhere between touring, recording, a new acting career, and being a mom, she caught bronchitis, so her husband convinced her to stay back and rest up a night. That's right, if Reba was healthy, there was a 50-50 chance she'd have been on that plane. According to an LA Times article about the crash, the first plane took off at 1:45 a.m. An hour later, Reba's hotel phone started ringing. Norval broke the news to her. He then got a hold of every affected family member he could, so they didn't hear about it on television first.
I can see that room. I can see Norval walking back and forth, and I'm trailing him, bawling, and he turns to me and says, "Reba, you got to go in the other room. I've got to call these people."
That video is from Oprah's Masterclass, which is a must-watch on this topic, so we linked it in the corner. The Oklahoman would later reveal the cause of the accident to be pilot error, but the FAA was also very casual about how tall the peak really was. As they took off, a wing clipped some rocks, causing the plane to cartwheel into the side of the mountain. Everyone on board died instantly, and when rescue crews arrived the next day, they discovered broken pieces of instruments, personal belongings, and the Book of Balance and Harmony by Thomas Cleary among the wreckage. The scene was so devastating that several volunteers needed to be calmed down by a psychologist. 2 weeks later, Reba opened up to people about the crash and shared that, like her, pedal steel guitarist Pete Finney had a baby waiting at home. At the last minute, he swapped planes with lead guitarist Michael Thomas and was on the second plane instead of the first. Also killed was guitarist Chris Austin, bassist Terry Jackson, bandleader Kirk Cappello, drummer Tony Saputo, keyboard player Joey Cigainero, and backup singer Paula Kaye Evans, who got the job over another young star in Nashville named Faith Hill. Yep, Faith was packaging merch for Reba at the time, but doesn't credit Fate for not being on that plane. She would later tell CNN that she just wasn't a very talented backup singer. One more strange coincidence from that night. Reba says no one in the audience was supposed to tape the show, but someone did using 1991 technology. Tour manager Jim Hammon confiscated the tape and gave it to Norval, meaning somewhere there's tape of that last performance the group ever played together. A performance that included a cover of Sweet Dreams by Patsy Cline. 28 years earlier, nearly to the day, Patsy Cline and her friends were killed when her plane crashed into a mountain. Reba vowed to never play the song again.
And now that I have this opportunity to thank each and every one of you for all the love and the support, I want you to know it means the world to me. Thanks to the Academy, to everybody at MCA Records, to all my family, musical and blood. This is for my 8 buddies.
In Denison, Texas, you'll find a tribute for the lives that were lost. 8 dogwood trees were planted along Reba's Ranch House Memorial Walk. The singer says they will bloom each spring to serve as a constant reminder of God's presence and continued watch over those we hold dear.